The drama surrounding Manny Pacquiao versus Gervonta Tank Davis begins long before the opening bell ever rings. It starts with disbelief. The idea alone feels unreal at first. It's like something pulled from a fantasy matchup generator rather than an actual boxing conversation. One man represents a living timeline of boxing history, a fighter whose career stretches across generations, styles, champions, and eras. The other embodies the ruthless efficiency of modern prize fighting. A compact storm of timing and destruction shaped by a different kind of boxing reality. When these two worlds collide, the fight is no longer just about winning rounds or landing punches. It becomes a test of what truly lasts in boxing when time, youth, power, and experience all stand in the same ring. From the opening seconds, the contrast is impossible to ignore. Pacquiao does not come out trying to prove he is young again. He comes out trying to prove that he is still himself. His movement is subtle rather than explosive, economical rather than reckless. He slides into range, touches the body, steps off at angles that feel familiar to anyone who has watched him for the past 2 decades. Tank, meanwhile, is calm to the point of eeriness. He gives ground early, not out of fear, but calculation. His guard stays tight, his eyes locked on Pacquiao's lead shoulder, waiting for rhythm, waiting for patterns. The crowd buzzes with anticipation, knowing that neither man is rushing because both understand how dangerous the opening mistakes can be. The first round surprises many watching at home. Pacquiao is busier than expected, flicking his jab, darting in with quick 2-punch combinations, and circling before Tank can fully set his feet. The punches aren't thrown with reckless abandon, but they are clean, purposeful, and frequent enough to establish early control. Tank answers with only a few counters, but each one lands with authority, snapping Pacquiao's head back just enough to remind everyone that power does not need volume to make itself known. By the end of the round, the crowd is divided. Some see Pacquiao's activity and ring control as dominant. Others can't shake the image of Tank's left hand landing with surgical precision. As the second and third rounds unfold, a pattern begins to emerge, though it is far from simple. Pacquiao continues to win moments through movement and output, stepping in and out, touching Tank's guard, occasionally sneaking shots to the body that slowed the younger man's legs just a fraction. But Tank's patience becomes more unsettling with every passing minute. He isn't chasing. He isn't forcing exchanges. He is studying. Each time Pacquiao angles out after a combination, Tank slightly adjusts his foot placement, subtly cutting off the ring rather than following. It's a quiet chess match, layered beneath the violence. Those who understand boxing can feel the tension building even when nothing dramatic is happening. By the fourth round, Tank begins to assert himself more clearly. He lets Pacquiao come forward, then fires short, brutal counters that land with increasing consistency. One left hand to the body draws a sharp reaction from Pacquiao. Not pain exactly, but recognition. The older fighter nods, acknowledging the danger, yet refuses to slow down. He responds by increasing his volume, forcing Tank to work defensively for longer stretches than he prefers. The judges are now faced with a difficult task. Pacquiao is landing more punches, controlling the pace, and dictating where the exchanges happen. Tank, however, is landing the cleaner, heavier shots, the kind that leave visible marks and audible reactions from the crowd. Midway through the fight, the atmosphere inside the arena shifts. The cheers grow louder with every exchange, not because the fight has become chaotic, but because everyone senses how close it is to tipping over the edge. Pacquiao's attacks now carry greater risk. His entries are met with sharper counters. His exits are tested by Tank's timing, yet he keeps coming, adjusting angles, switching rhythm, occasionally feinting, just long enough to draw Tank's hands down before firing upstairs. This is where experience begins to show itself in ways that cannot be measured by punch statistics alone. Pacquiao isn't just fighting Tank, he is fighting the moments between punches, the pauses, the hesitations, the psychological traps that decide elite-level fights. Tank, for his part, grows more dangerous with every round. His confidence increases as he realizes that Pacquiao, while still brilliant, is human. He starts to sit down on his punches more, especially the left hand, aiming not just to score, but to change the fight in an instant. One counter in the 7th round rocks Pacquiao backward, sending a shock through the arena. The crowd rises to its feet, sensing a potential turning point. Tank presses forward, but Pacquiao responds like a man who has survived storms before. He clinches, pivots, and resets, refusing to give Tank the sustained opening he craves. As the championship rounds approach, the scoring becomes an even more intriguing variable. Some judges appear to favor Pacquiao's consistency. His ability to control the flow of the fight and land combinations in bunches. Others are clearly swayed by Tank's power and the visible effect of his punches. The fight feels close, uncomfortably close. The kind of matchup where one moment can erase 10 minutes of hard work. This uncertainty only heightens the tension. Every Pacquiao flurry feels like a gamble. Every Tank counter feels like a loaded weapon waiting to fire. In the 9th and 10th rounds, fatigue begins to play its role, but not in the way many expect. Pacquiao's legs slow slightly, yet his timing remains sharp. Tank, meanwhile, shows flashes of impatience. Not reckless, but eager. He senses opportunity and wants to seize it, but Pacquiao's footwork and ring awareness continue to frustrate him. The exchanges grow more violent, more urgent, as both fighters understand that the margin for error is disappearing. The crowd energy reaches a fever pitch, roaring with every landed punch, every near miss, every sudden shift in momentum. Then comes the moment that defines the fight. Late in the 11th round, Pacquiao steps in with a familiar combination, the same pattern he has used earlier in the fight. Tank has been waiting for it. As Pacquiao throws the second punch, Tank slips just outside the angle and unleashes a perfectly timed counter left hand. The impact is immediate and undeniable. Pacquiao stumbles, not falling, but visibly shaken. The arena explodes as Tank surges forward. Sensing the opening he has been patient enough to earn. He fires another left, then a right, each one carrying the weight of calculated destruction. Pacquiao, drawing on sheer will and instinct, manages to survive the onslaught. He clinches, moves, and somehow makes it to the bell. But the message has been sent. The balance of the fight has shifted. Whether the judges have Pacquiao ahead or not, no longer feels as important as the reality unfolding in front of everyone watching. Tank has found the timing. He has cracked the code. The 12th round begins with both fighters knowing exactly what is at stake. Pacquiao understands that survival alone may not be enough. Tank knows that one clean moment can end everything. The exchanges are tense, calculated, and brutal. Pacquiao throws with urgency, digging deep to summon one final push. Tank remains composed, letting Pacquiao come to him, waiting for the slightest mistake. When it comes, it is subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye. Pacquiao overcommits just a fraction, his weight slightly too far forward. Tank does not hesitate. The left hand lands flush, followed by a right that seals it. Pacquiao goes down, not in collapse, but in acknowledgement. He rises, fueled by pride and heart, but the damage is done. The referee steps in after the next exchange, waving it off as Tank delivers another crushing shot. The fight is over, not because Pacquiao lacked courage, but because timing, patience, and power converged at the perfect moment. As the arena erupts, the meaning of the fight settles in. This was never about disrespecting eras or diminishing legacies. Pacquiao's performance only reinforces his greatness, showing that intelligence, movement, and experience can still compete at the highest level. But Tank's victory signals something else entirely. It marks the arrival of a new reality in boxing, one where patience and precision are just as deadly as raw aggression. Power, when combined with timing, does not care about history. If this fight ever truly happened, its impact would echo far beyond the final bell. A Pacquiao win would have rewritten the limits of longevity, proving that mastery can outlast youth. But a Tank Davis victory, like the one imagined here, represents the moment when the next generation fully claims its place. Not by erasing the past, but by defeating it on equal terms. This is how boxing evolves. Styles change, bodies age, but fundamentals remain eternal. Speed fades, power lasts, and timing decides everything. So now the question belongs to you. Who do you believe would win this clash of eras if it ever became reality? Would experience and volume overcome patience and power? Or would timing once again prove to be the most unforgiving weapon in boxing? Drop your prediction in the comments below. If you enjoy deep fight breakdowns, legendary matchups, and boxing storytelling that goes beyond the highlights, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next.